What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. Today I have an underused match. This was a battle from my live stream actually, and I decided to upload it because it was a pretty good match. Anyways, this is against Jacob. I have a pretty random team I just kind of threw together with some powerful stuff, and I wanted to have some fun. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. I decided to lead off with Muck because I actually predicted him to lead off with the Rotom Mow, just because, I don't know, I kind of had an instinct, but it actually worked out for me. He does end up leading off with the Lawnmower, and that's actually perfect. So, on the first turn, he does go for the trick. He gives me a Choice Scarf, and he obtains my Black Sludge. And keep in mind that any Pokemon that's not a Poison type that has the Black Sludge item actually takes damage rather than recovering from it. So that's pretty funny. He actually uses the Black Sludge, gets hurt a little bit, and realizes he has to switch the hell up on out of here because he's gonna die. So, my Muck is actually Choice Scarfed. That's ridiculous. A Muck with a Choice Scarf. It never really works, but I just decided to go for another Poison Jab, just kind of stay in, just to see what he's going to do. He ends up Volt Switching into this Bastiodon, and I'm like, wow, okay, I haven't seen one of these things in like 2 damn fortnights, so this should be pretty interesting. I know they generally like to set up Stealth Rocks, and they can't really do a whole lot, so I decided to switch into a Vaporeon. Vaporeon's got that popped collar right now, look at that, acting like a pimp out here, looking like a boss. This is actually the first battle I've ever used this Vaporeon, and I just end up going for the Scald, because I realize it hits pretty much everything on his team for solid damage, and he decides to bring in the Rotom, and that thing takes its Scald to the face and dies. So Vaporeon kills the Lawnmower, which is perfect, and now he decides to bring in the Scrafty, and that's actually not too bad of a matchup for me because I am a fully physically defensive Vaporeon, so I actually just decided to stay in to kind of scout what he's going to do, just to see if he was going to start setting up some Dragon Dances or something like that. I decided to go for the Roar, and I actually end up going first, so I'm kind of, you know, wondering what move he decided to go for. I expected him to go for a Dragon Dance, but that is not the case, and I roar him out into the Drapion, who is going to start throwing around some Toxic Spikes. I do have the Muck on my team who I can send in at any time and get rid of those Toxic Spikes, so I'm not really sure why he's setting those up, but Vaporeon just decides to stay in, go for a Scald, maybe try to get the burn, but I don't get it, of course, and he actually is able to knock off, which is going to get rid of my leftovers, but Vaporeon's not even that hungry anyways, so it's all good, and he now decides to go for a Cross Poison, does not get the poison, and I'm able to now finish this thing off with one more Scald, so Vaporeon be putting in work, so that's pretty awesome. I want to use this Vaporeon more. I've never really seen people use Vaporeon, honestly, but now he decides to bring in this birdie. He brings in his Eagle, who's going to go for a Brave Bird, and I didn't want Vaporeon to sit there and take it because I knew Scald wouldn't do enough, and I don't have Ice Beam. My Vaporeon's actually a Wish Protect set, kind of for support, so I decided to go into Donphan here, who takes way too much damage from this Brave Bird. I was not expecting that. This Bravery ends up hitting me for a buttload of damage, and I realize I don't even have the Ice Shard, so even if I did it, it wouldn't really matter, I guess, but at this point, Brawly is not going to be taking another Brave Bird. Like, that's a known fact. So I actually just decided to stay in. I predict him to go for a U-turn or something different just to see if I was going to switch. He actually ends up going for the U-turn, which Donphan is able to live barely with 3 HP, which is amazing, and I predict the Dusknoir to come in, and I go for the knockoff, which could not have gone more perfectly. So the Dusknoir does come in, takes a knockoff to the face, and that does well over half, and actually, yeah, just that thing gets hurt. I get hurt by the Rocky Helmet, and I end up knocking it off, but I would have died to poison anyways, so it's all good. Now I'm able to bring in Christmas, and I'm like, guess what time of year it is now, motherfucker? Christmas time, so I'm able to come in. I could have sent in Muck, but at this point I didn't want to send in Muck to get rid of the Poison Spikes, because I figured it was only one layer, and I didn't want to get burned from this Dusknoir anyways, so I bring in Christmas here, who's able to Mega Evolve, and then end up killing this thing with a Dragon Pulse quite nicely, and that is the end of the Ghosty there. So that's not bad. It is now time for Mega Sceptile to just start doing its thing, putting in that work. I get hurt by the poison. Overall, doesn't really matter. Now the Scrafty is going to come in. I'm aware of the fact that he's just going to be able to go for the Fake Out and then kind of stall out some more poison turns, but then I was like, okay, the only reason why he would send this thing in, I guess, is if it had Ice Punch, but I decided to go ahead and test that fact. So he does go for the Fake Out there. I go for the Giga Drain just to see how much damage it's going to do, which is like absolutely nothing, like no damage. Might be an Assault Vestige Crafty, but he actually does have the Ice Punch, which is kind of a bummer, and he is able to Ice Punch me in the Christmas tree, and that is going to be a dead Mega Sceptile, which overall, not too big of a deal. deal. Now I'm able to bring in Haxorus. I know that he does have the Ice Punch, obviously, but I definitely do have the Yachi Berry. So I'm kind of, you know, not really too scared. I am free to go for a Dragon Dance here. Start setting up, turning into an absolute monster. Haxorus is just an absolute beast. This thing, it could be really scary. So now he decides to switch. He goes into the Bastiodon, maybe predicting the Dragon move. I just decide to go for the Dragon Dance, and I am looking like I'm in a pretty good position here because Haxorus is, like I said, an absolute monster. So I get that +1 attack, that +1 speed, and at this point I'm feeling like an Earthquake is definitely going to be able to kill this thing. And I go for the Earthquake, and like I said, that is a dead Bastiodon right there. So your face may be a wall, but you will not survive a Haxorus Earthquake. Let that be known. So I get hurt by the poison, not too big of a deal. Now he's able to bring in the Scrafty again, who is going to get the Intimidate, which is kind of a bummer because it's going to put me back at neutral attack. I don't have any attack raised here. He's going to go for the Fake Out, which is going to get a little bit of damage, and then the poison is going to, you know, do a little bit too. But Haxorus is still looking pretty solid over here, as now I'm able to go for a Dragon Claw to the Scrafty's face. I end up getting a critical hit, and it lived it, and Scrafty is way too defensive, and he ends up going for the Ice Punch, activates the Yachi Berry, which enables me to live this, and that is amazing. Haxorus is able to live that, but the freaking poison kills me. So I was like, you know, maybe it would have been a good idea to get Muck out there earlier, get rid of those spikes, but you know, overall, it doesn't really matter. Haxorus kind of did its thing, got rid of that wall, and the Scrafty's not looking too hot over here, as I'm able to actually outspeed with a Choice Scarf. Since I was tricked the Choice Scarf earlier, Muck is actually able to outspeed, which is hilarious, and I killed that thing with a Poison Jab, which is awesome. Choice Scarfed Muck, new meta right there. You know what I'm saying? So now he's just able to bring back out the Eagle, who is going to hit me with a Brave Bird. Definitely going to kill the Muck, but in the process, he's going to, you know, take a lot of damage and then some Life Orb damage. But it is all good because in the back pocket, I do still have the Alakazam, who has a Focus Sash. So either way, I would have been able to live an attack from this thing had I not been able to outspeed. But I do outspeed, throw a Psychic at this thing's face, and that is a dead birdie. So that is the end of the game right there. Just a quick little match just to throw up a little Wi-Fi in the middle of my Let's Play episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please click that thumbs up button, and I will appreciate it. See you guys later.